Hanging out with NJIT men's tennis. The head coach is with us. He is Marco Matteucci. I'm Drew Casey. Thanks for joining us, Highlander Nation, and Coach, thanks so much for joining us as well. We've got time for tennis, competitive duels in the spring coming up very, very soon. And how's everything going? Let's start with the fall. How did the fall go?
Yeah, fall is going great. Thank you guys for having me here. Thanks for coming. We had a great fall. Not just our number one player, Pablo Perez Ramos, but also other individuals on our team, Will Jenkins, Nate Gornyank. They've had very good fall. Pablo certainly excelled, feeding off of his last season where he was regionally ranked 13 here. And with some players graduating, probably moved up a little bit more into that top 10, having a really good run in the super regional tournament. And then we all finished off fairly strong. So we're happy going into the spring the way that we competed last fall.
So the fall ends, and we're looking ahead to Marist and Ryder in late January. What happens in between with your program? How do you prepare? How do you stay fresh?
Guys just got back on campus. They did a good job at home following strength and conditioning procedures with the coaches that gave them good stuff to go home and work with. They all came back in pretty good shape. And now it's just taking care of a little bit of the details, getting some rhythm, and those are two good challenges to start with as we go into the rest of the season. So we look forward to the first day.
So let's now even take a bigger picture, look at the season that's coming up. You guys coming off a successful fall, you just talked about it, strong season last year. What are some of the goals? What is some of the outlook for this year's NJIT
Well, I think
team?
that having all the guys come back, we have a lot of returners. We have a couple of freshmen and a graduate student that joined our team. I think that we matured a lot, and going forward, I think that when it comes to our conference and the rest of the season, I feel pretty strong at the moment. I think the guys feel strong about it. I think they have a good team unit. We have a great culture going on right now. And so, we look forward to all the challenges that, are leading up to the conference tournament in April.
Chatting with NJIT men's tennis head coach Marco Matteucci. And Coach, you talked about some of your student athletes, and let's start with Pablo. What is the outlook? How is he improved? How can he continue to be better with all of those honors that you talked about?
Well, certainly he's one of the guys who comes in, works extra, does the right thing, goes home, does the right thing, and has a broad thought of what his life wants to be here and how he leads. He's our captain. He's gotten the guys together. They've put their own little team guidelines together in order to maintain quality of every day, from attitude, discipline, responsibilities, and things like that, accountability. So he is just growing day by day, so we hope that he keeps going in that fashion, and certainly he will.
How about some of the other returners that you talked about by name? Who's standing out? Who do you hope to maybe make a jump, or has made a nice jump already in your eyes?
Yeah, I mean, Will Jenkins joined us in the spring last year. That's always a challenge, because you miss the fall, you come in, you get thrown into the fire. And then he just had a great fall where he reached the last round of the regional tournament in order to qualify for the super regional. So he was just, missed it by one match. And then, just his rating just skyrocketed, and Nate, again, when he got here last year, we were super pumped about him. He immediately did really well, moving in at like number 2, number 3 in the lineup. Started off slow the fall and then finished strong, so that's good. Pavel Petrov is another guy that took some time to adjust last year and came in this fall and just started to kill it at the end of the semester. So we're looking good in his perspective and things that he's doing. And we brought in another newcomer from Thomas Jefferson down the road in Philly. He's certainly going to help out in the doubles. Herman doing great in singles. And the rest of the guys, Ashwin, our lone senior, is always our biggest utility guy. If you want to put a baseball reference to that, I can trust him whenever I put him in. And he's going to be a big candidate to be one of the starters in our lineup this year. And I look forward to him having a really good year. Great guy. And all the rest of them, Oscar and our newcomers from Norway and Israel and things like that.
You've got Marist, you've got Ryder, Friday, January 26th, Sunday, January 28th. Of course, there's a lot of matches between those first two and the Southland, and ideally beyond as well. What needs to happen for you guys to come home with the Southland tournament championship?
We got to stay healthy, number one. And when we move from being, in the Northeast indoors, and we start to transition outdoors, is to be physically fit, to be able to, maintain the heat, deal with the humidity and the sun and the wind and things like that. And if we can manage those things, I think we're going to be just fine.
And that's a big reason why you go down on spring break to
Correct.
Texas, right?
Yeah.
Exactly. What have you learned in doing that, and what do you hope to get out of that this season?
Look, I've coached in the South, I've coached in the North, and it's just a mental setting, to prepare the guys that, everything is an adversity and it doesn't matter what's in front of you, and you just got to stay positive, learn how to take the lost points the right way to be able to move on point to point to point, and, to see the bigger picture at the end of the road. So when we go outdoors and we have those adversities to deal with, they're ready for it, and they know it's going to be a challenge, but if we can overcome those obstacles, I think that we're in a good position.
Well, Coach, we wish you the best throughout the season. Look forward to checking in a couple of weeks, couple of months, and maybe we'll see some hardware coming up in April or May.
Hope so.
NJIT men's tennis kicks off its season on Friday, January 26th against Marist here in Newark.